So last year, I got a job teaching vocals part-time at a local university. And as part of that job, I had to get a medical report done. So I've actually never done a medical checkup in my entire adult life, but I was happy to go do this because it was required for me to get a teaching permit, and also because this university was part of a large group that included properties, hotels, shopping malls, hospitals, and they were sending me to a clinic that was part of their group, and it would be free of charge. So I go to the clinic, get it done, and the next day I get a call from the clinic that says that, oh, my blood sugar had registered a little high and they would recommend me to come back for a follow-up test. But this time I would need to fast. So I made an appointment for 2 p.m. the next day, and I woke up feeling a little hungry because the last meal I had was 8 p.m. the night before, and as I was trying to get to the clinic, there was a lack of cars for hire on the road, so I had to pay twice the amount to get there. But once I got there, as the nurse is registering my details, she starts asking me, oh, what time was your last meal? And when I said 8 p.m., she had this look on her face and said, oh no, you're not supposed to fast for more than 10 hours because the results would not be accurate. And I got really upset because when I made the appointment, no one had told me about that. And as I was leaving for my next destination, there was still a lack of cars for hire. So again, I had to pay extra, and I left in a little bit of a huff. Now, as a student of Eckankar, I've known through my experience that when something unusual like this happens, it's good to pay attention. And even though I was really caught up in the emotion of the incident, I couldn't help but think of this quote by Sri Haroklamp, who is the spiritual leader of Eckankar, that says, whether we are talking about the inner or outer life, it pays spiritually to open your heart, then your eyes and your ears. This is from the Living Word, Book 4. So even though I knew that I couldn't quite see the reason why this had happened, I filed it at the back of my head, knowing that sooner or later the reason would reveal itself. So the next day, I called up the Human Resources Department of the university and told them all about the incident. And the person in charge told me that it didn't matter because I was declared fit for duty and I didn't have to do the follow-up test if I didn't want to, which I didn't really want to because not only do I have to pay for it this time, I had to travel again, 40 minutes. So anyway, about a week later, I got a little eye infection, and I just so happened to be in the area where my friend owns a clinic. So I walked in there wanting to get the infection checked out, and just so happened my friend was there. So he sat down with me and I told him, we chatted a little bit, and I told him all about the medical report fiasco. So he asked if I had my report with me. I said yes, and I showed it to him. He took a look at it, and when he saw the blood sugar levels, he said to me that it might be a good idea that I get it checked out. And they had a test at his clinic that didn't require any fasting because it would take your blood sugar and it would be an aggregate of 3 months. So I did the test. And the next day, got a call from the clinic and I headed over there. And my friend sat me down and announced to me that I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Now, this came as a little bit of a shock because I wasn't exhibiting any symptoms, nor do I have a family history of diabetes. And yeah, I was shocked. And he was really kind and patient, and he really walked me through what it meant to have diabetes and what were the next steps I could take. Medication, lifestyle changes, diet changes. And at that moment, it hit me that nothing happens as an accident. And this diagnosis actually occurred about a week before my birthday and 2 weeks before the ex-spiritual New Year. And even though this was never gonna be the birthday present I asked for, I know that it was still a gift from Divine Spirit, even though I didn't quite like the way it was packaged. But I could really see how, everything was connected, from me getting a job to me needing to get a medical report to getting it done at a clinic far away and that being unsuccessful, to me getting an eye infection, needing to check that out, which turned out to be nothing, by the way, and eventually ending up at a clinic with a friend that I trusted, who would walk me through what a diabetes diagnosis meant. And the thing is, when we're going through a lot of these drastic changes in our life, or obstacles, it's really comforting to me to know that the Ek, or Divine Spirit, and the Mahanta, who is the inner aspect of the spiritual leader, is always looking out for me, always looking out for us. And along the way of us trying to navigate these challenges, there will be little gifts and blessings strewn as long as we are aware of them. And about 2 months after my diagnosis, I was performing music at a wellness seminar. And just so happened there was a lady there that was an advocate of a certain diet that was completely diabetic friendly. And I was so excited to meet her because she also opened up a whole new world for me of bakers and other vendors that sold diabetic friendly desserts, because I have a gigantic sweet tooth. So when I discovered those people, I just said to the Mahanta, I said like, I know you're looking out for me. Yeah, and so it's been about a year since my diagnosis, and I've gone through a complete diet change, which was difficult because, let me just say, I'm Asian, rice is life, and having to cut out carbs and sugar was really difficult. But I'm very proud to let you know that I managed to do it, and I have also managed to bring down my blood sugar level a little bit from the first initial diagnosis. And the best part is, without medication. And yeah, this entire experience just made me aware of how Divine Spirit always has your best interest at heart, and everything that happens really is a gift of love. We just have to be patient and be open and be aware to what the gift is. And with that, I'd like to end this little story with a quote again from Sri Haroklemp from his book The Awakening Soul. Everything is a gift from God. The challenge is to understand what is happening to you. Thank you.